Olivia and her husband were returning from the town where his parents lived. Her husband enjoyed visiting them, but as they lived far away, the couple didn't go often. Raphael went to pay for the fuel at a gas station while Olivia stayed in the car, looking out the window and watching the raindrops trickle down slowly on the glass. The woman was deeply saddened to think that she and her husband had been together for 25 years. But recently, their relationship had deteriorated considerably. Olivia couldn't comprehend what had caused this, as they used to love each other and find solutions to any situation together. And then it broke between them. The woman recalled the person Raphael used to be: cheerful, kind, reliable, and always willing to help. Now, she was faced with a moody, serious, almost unfamiliar person. Perhaps the reason was a change in her husband's job. When Raphael was promoted to a higher position, his work took up much of his time, and the family gradually took a back seat. Olivia never resented her husband, as he dreamed of the promotion so the family would want for nothing. But deep in her heart, she was anxious. Money didn't bring the happiness they had when Raphael was a manager. The only thing that made Olivia happy was the fact that she and Raphael had raised two beautiful daughters. Lucia was already a student, living in another state, while Natalie went abroad for an internship a few years ago, got married, and was expecting their first child. Except for her husband's cold attitude, there couldn't be a better life. Raphael returned to the car and interrupted her thoughts. Irritated, he heard the sound of a door slamming, and then they drove towards home. Olivia looked out the window again and sank into her thoughts. She had been a homemaker throughout their marriage, taking care of her husband's home and raising their daughters. Raphael believed his wife shouldn't work and always financially supported her. However, since their relationship worsened, the woman didn't have her own money anymore. They shopped together, and it was always her husband who paid. Olivia couldn't remember the last time she bought something for herself. Anna, her best friend, advised her to find a part-time job, but her husband was against it. Raphael was afraid that Olivia working would mean the house wouldn't be clean, and he wouldn't find a delicious dinner ready when he got home. She offered the option for him to find a part-time job so she could take care of everything, but she always received a negative reaction. Influenced by her memories and wishing for change, the woman decided to bring up the subject again. "Raphael, we need to talk. I know you don't like the idea, but I need to work," said Olivia. "Then calm down. Why are you bringing this up again? What's wrong with staying at home? If you need money, tell me how much, and I'll give it to you immediately," Raphael responded angrily. "I don't want to constantly ask. And remember, I also need to dress up, buy makeup, or go out with my friends for coffee. I want to earn my own money," argued Olivia firmly. "But I don't want people to think that the wife of a successful man like me is working in a poorly paid job. Who cares about that now?" Olivia tried to oppose, but Raphael drove in silence, making it clear that the conversation was over. They followed the rest of the way in silence. When they arrived home, the argument exploded. "Look, your best friend's wife works as a saleswoman," Olivia said, giving an example. "Are you crazy? You don't value anything. Think about it. There are many women who want your place. Everyone just wants to sit at home and do nothing. Are you saying I do nothing? I've been running around the house like a horse since early morning, picking up your socks, washing, cooking, and cleaning. I have plenty to do here at home. I'm tired of just being a homemaker. I miss socializing with people. I'm happy to go to the market because there I can talk to someone. I've said it all. If you go to work, I'll leave immediately. Stop bringing this up." "I'm tired of it," said Olivia. Raphael looked threateningly at his wife one last time and stormed out of the dining room alone. Olivia was tired and thought again if her husband really loved her, if there was anything left of the feelings he once had for her. Their wedding anniversary was approaching, and Olivia wanted to celebrate the occasion at a restaurant, but Raphael decided otherwise. In his opinion, it would be better and easier to invite family and friends to their house. He didn't even consider the fact that Olivia would have to cook for such a large company all day. All he wanted was to boast about their home and be a good host. Olivia was tired of being alone and having no company. Her best friend, Anna, had moved to another city, and they rarely saw each other. Her husband was no longer interested in her, and their children had left home. The only hope she had was to get a job. Soon, on the day of their anniversary, the daughters came to celebrate. The eldest was accompanied by her husband, and the youngest by her boyfriend. Olivia was glad that at least for a few days, she could have her daughter's company. The woman chatted animatedly with her daughters in the kitchen as they prepared the celebratory dinner, and listened with interest to how their lives were busy. But the daughters noticed that their mother was worried. They already suspected that their parents' relationship had deteriorated, and when they came for the anniversary, they confirmed their fears. "What's going on with you and Dad?" the girl asked, excited. "What are you talking about, dear?" "We're fine," Olivia said calmly, trying to remain calm. "I'm sure. I think there's something you're not telling me." "If you don't tell me, I'll talk to Dad," protested Olivia. But it was hard to change Lucia's mind. She was determined to talk to her father about the situation because she believed her mother didn't deserve that treatment. Raphael, on the other hand, acted reverently towards his daughters and tried to appear as a loving husband. He constantly hugged his wife, praised her, and presented her with a large bouquet of flowers. Olivia was happy, thinking that her husband had been influenced by the conversation with their daughter and that now everything would be fine. But when the daughters left, Olivia's happiness disappeared without a trace. The woman realized that it had all been an act and that things would never be the same again. Raphael resumed his usual behavior, and the expression on his face was not promising for her at all. "Why are you talking about our relationship to our daughters? Are you trying to turn them against me?" "I didn't tell them anything. Lucia figured out on her own that you and I are going through difficulties," said Olivia, confused. "Never dare to speak ill of me to them. You always make me uncomfortable." Olivia was upset, and Raphael abruptly got up from the couch, slammed the door, and left the house. He returned at dusk. The couple didn't talk. Silently, they went to their rooms. Olivia couldn't sleep and kept thinking about what to do and how they would live together. They would never be able to be a couple again, but divorce really scared her because then she would be alone. The woman had no idea what she would do because she still had feelings for Raphael. She decided to try one last attempt to restore at least some kind of peace between them, but no matter how much she cared about Raphael, he only responded with aggression, completely distancing himself, even stopping coming home. The book slid further and further into the abyss of loneliness. One day, while she was shopping, she overheard a conversation between two cashiers that dramatically changed her life. One of the women was telling that her acquaintance had opened a new hotel in the city center and was now looking for housekeepers. Olivia suddenly realized that this was her chance to try to change something in her life. She timidly apologized for eavesdropping, said she was looking for work, and asked for the hotel manager's number. After getting the necessary number, Olivia thanked the woman and walked out onto the street. Her heart was pounding frantically. She couldn't believe she was going against her husband's will to avoid unnecessary scandals. However, she had no choice but to go ahead so as not to change her mind. So, she immediately called from the car and scheduled a meeting at the hotel to discuss all the details of her employment. The hotel hostess said goodbye, and Olivia stood there for a while, smiling happily. She was thrilled because finally something would change in her life. The next day, she was afraid her plans might be ruined. However, her boss Vera turned out to be a wonderful person, and all of Olivia's fears vanished. Vera explained all the job details, the salary, and the rules of conduct with the guests. Olivia nodded happily and went to work immediately. At first, the job seemed ordinary and difficult, but then Olivia managed to do everything and still take care of the house as she had planned. It was easy to keep the secret because her husband didn't pay much attention to her and couldn't notice changes in her behavior and mood. Meanwhile, Olivia's mood improved considerably. She was enjoying life to the fullest, liking her job, getting her salary paid weekly, and having wonderful co-workers. Several wonderful months passed like this, and Olivia was so happy that not even her husband's rude attitude bothered her anymore. On one of the weekends when her husband was away on a business trip, Olivia decided to dedicate a day to herself, go shopping, and then cook something delicious. But when she returned from shopping, her boss asked her to cover for her colleague who had fallen ill. Olivia saw no problem and agreed. After a while, she received a complaint from one of the rooms she attended. The guests complained about dust in the room and the lack of drinks in the minibar. The woman entered the room hastily. Upon entering, she saw no one, but could hear the sound of water being poured. She began to tidy up the room and make the bed. When she finished, Vilma, a young woman in her 20s, with wet hair wrapped in a bath towel, became irritated and expressed her dissatisfaction, demanding to be treated like a regular client. She remained silent as the young woman attempted to speak, but then a voice came from what she would consider anywhere. "Dear, don't be so rude to the staff. I think everyone got it, Olivia." "What are you doing here?" said Raphael, surprised, asking about the business trip. She was in a lot of pain, but tried to hold back from showing difficulties in front of Raphael, who was clearly moved by Vilma. He explained that the young woman was just his colleague. Olivia asked if he showered with all his colleagues. Raphael tried to grab her arm, but Olivia threw a towel at him and left the room. The young lover watched as Raphael attempted, in vain, to hold onto his wife. So, she quickly got dressed, dismissed him, saying everything she thought of him, and stormed out of the room cursing. Raphael didn't try to reach out to her, as he now only cared about Olivia. Her behavior surprised and infuriated him greatly. Olivia went to the boss's office, explained the whole situation, asking to go home. Vera was happy to grant Olivia's request. The woman was very tactful and understanding, so she allowed Olivia to leave. She granted a few days off. At home, there was a big scandal waiting for Olivia. Raphael knew that the best defense is offense and therefore expressed extreme satisfaction that his wife had been easily deceived against her will. On the other hand, Olivia, in a crystal clear and calm rage, reproached her husband for adultery with a woman younger than their daughter. The woman firmly said, "Finally, who needs you? Don't make me laugh. You will be alone and begging for me to come back." Raphael shouted angrily, "I'll be fine, you'll see." After calming down a bit, Raphael tried to appeal to Olivia's mind and promised to improve their relationship, even though he didn't believe his wife would be capable of leaving him. Raphael almost begged Olivia and assured her that he didn't need anyone else but her. However, Olivia was inflexible. The couple ended up divorcing, exchanging the house they built together and the hope that it would become a welcoming family home for them. Olivia got her own separate apartment. Sometimes, Raphael tried to reconcile with his wife, but Olivia hated even speaking to him anymore. He finally realized that he would never find a better woman, but it was already too late. Olivia used to share her concerns with her friend, Nora, over the phone. Nora always tried to support her, and one day, she had a wonderful idea. In her city, Nora unexpectedly found Olivia. Hugo, a classmate who had also recently gone through a divorce, instantly decided that Hugo and Olivia should meet again, as they were once friends when they were young, but then their paths diverged. Nora invited her friend to visit, and Olivia, who was on vacation, agreed. So that Olivia wouldn't get bored, Nora arranged a meeting between Olivia and Hugo, who were Olivia's childhood friends. At first, Olivia didn't recognize Hugo, but soon they found common ground and connected. Hugo had always been in love with Olivia, but when he learned she was getting married, he decided to step back. Now, many years later, Hugo had the chance to try again. Olivia visited and initially reciprocated Hugo's feelings, but after a brief visit, she realized she couldn't resist him. She was saddened to have to leave him after the visit and also embarrassed for having distanced herself so quickly from her ex-husband. But her daughters advised her to follow her heart and be happy. Hugo went to Olivia to convince her to stay with him, and she finally agreed. They married with only the closest people present. Olivia was happy to have found someone she could spend the rest of her life with. The story reflects the importance of emphasizing that no person should be forced to give up their own wishes and desires for the sake of another, especially in healthy relationships, which should be based on mutual respect, dialogue, and equality, where each person has their own individuality, space to grow and develop. If you like this story, leave your opinion in the comments, and of course, like and subscribe. Turn on notifications so you don't miss any videos. A big hug and see you soon.